Welcome back to the 1991 review channel. First immortal, then an immortal. If one is immortal, one must cultivate. Hello everyone. In the newly updated episode 96 of Immortal's Journey to Immortality, Yuan Yao has officially returned after a 30-episode absence. As one of the most beloved female supporting characters in the original work, Yuan Yao will have many interactions with Han Li in the next two arcs, and Han Li will also gain many benefits from her. Possessing a beauty that is in no way inferior to Ziling's, Yuan Yao also has a kind and loyal heart. The deep sisterly bond between her and Yen Li in the original work has moved countless people, even causing the ever-cautious and vigilant Han Li to risk his life for her to fight Wen Tianren, the most powerful core formation cultivator in the chaotic star seas. Today, let's explore the turbulent life of this ordinary girl with an incredibly arduous fate. Before the video begins, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so I can take you on a cultivation journey together. The first time Han Li and Yuan Yao met was on Chaotic Star Island, corresponding to episode 66 of the animation. The reason the two sisters appeared on Chaotic Star Island is as follows. Initially, they were disciples of a small sect near the island, but they later left to improve their cultivation base, aiming to find high-level cultivators to become dual cultivation partners or to guide their practice. For this very reason, upon meeting Han Li, they were immediately drawn to Chu Han, who was at the false core stage, and automatically ignored Han Li, leaving him caught between laughter and tears. That was the first time Yuan Yao and Han Li met. The next time they met was in the Palace of the Void Heaven instance. After the Palace of the Void Heaven opened, Han Li and Ziling arrive at the first trial together, the land of ghostly souls. Here, there was also a cultivator surnamed Gu and an arrogant demonic cultivator clad in a black robe. This black robe cultivator was none other than Yuan Yao. The first trial of the Palace of the Void Heaven, the land of ghostly souls, is a mysterious and dangerous place, filled with vicious souls and unpredictable forces. Han Li and the others wanted to invite the black robe cultivator to join them, but were refused. After dealing with some minor ghosts, as they prepared to cross a dark, dense forest, they encountered a late-stage core formation Ghost King. Facing the ferocious Ghost King, Han Li fought without flinching and used his evil-warding divine lightning to destroy it. After eliminating the Ghost King, the relationship between Yuan Yao and Han Li was somewhat eased. When her identity as a female cultivator was revealed, she directly removed her mask. When the mask disappeared, Han Li was astonished to discover that the mysterious person in the black robe was Yuan Yao, the girl he had met once 100 years ago. Yuan Yao was extremely anxious, not hesitating to avoid Han Li's gaze. Only after hearing his explanation of their previous encounter did she gradually calm down. Recognizing Yuan Yao, Han Li was extremely curious about her cultivation level and identity because, during their first meeting, Yuan Yao was just a minor cultivator at the Qi condensation stage. Yet, after only 100 years, she had advanced to the core formation stage, whereas Han Li was already at the false core stage when he met the sisters. With questions in his heart, Han Li began to ask Yuan Yao about her cultivation, but she was evasive and unwilling to reveal anything. Seeing this, Han Li's curiosity slowly turned to vigilance. He suspected that Yuan Yao was hiding something. Therefore, after escaping the Ghost Abyss, Han Li rejected Yuan Yao's invitation to pass the trial together. Upon entering the second trial, the Iron Fire Ant Desert, Han Li once again met Yuan Yao. At this moment, she was surrounded by a swarm of ferocious iron fire ants, her life in peril. Seeing Han Li, Yuan Yao immediately cried out for help. Although Han Li is often called Old Devil Han, he is a person who is cold on the outside but warm on the inside. He immediately took action to save Yuan Yao, but then maintained a silent demeanor. He wanted to observe Yuan Yao's actions to uncover the mystery of her true purpose and intentions. At this point, Yuan Yao did not hesitate to use treasures and seductive arts to entice Han Li, but all her attempts failed. Realizing she couldn't seduce Han Li, Yuan Yao secretly cursed him for being a blockhead. Finally, Han Li bluntly revealed his purpose. He wanted to obtain the Ti-Hun beast from her. Upon hearing this condition, Yuan Yao surprisingly agreed with great readiness. After the conflict in the inner palace ended, Han Li was teleported before a lake. He was immediately stunned by the scene before him, seeing only Yuan Yao bathing naked in the water. Han Li thought it was improper to disturb someone while they were bathing, so he decided to wait until she was finished before appearing. When she saw Han Li, Yuan Yao hastily asked him to turn away. However, at that moment, Han Li was captivated by the surrounding scenery. His eyes were drawn to the vivid dragon head carvings on the lake's shore, which exuded a sense of mystery and solemnity. What astonished Han Li the most was the water in the lake. It was a legendary spirit ice spring, a place containing a vibrant and abundant source of energy. Eager to experience the magic of this water, Han Li immediately took off his shoes and carefully dipped his feet into the lake. Just as the legend said, the spirit ice spring had an extraordinary effect. Right after soaking his feet, Han Li could feel his spiritual power rapidly recovering. After regaining his magical power, He asked Yuan Yao why she was there. Through their subsequent conversation, we learned that this place contains a wondrous item called the soul-nourishing wood. This item, along with the heavenly lightning bamboo and the spirit eye tree, is known as one of the 3 great divine woods, possessing the ability to nurture primordial spirit and strengthen the soul. Yuan Yao's purpose in entering the palace of the void heaven was precisely to obtain the soul-nourishing wood, but she couldn't break the seal around it on her own. Hearing this, Han Li pretended to be mysterious, waiting for Yuan Yao to ask for his help. As expected, not long after, Yuan Yao proposed that Han Li help her retrieve the soul-nourishing wood. In return, she would give him a sip of the 10,000-year spirit liquid, a divine fluid that could help him restore his magical power. Seeing that his goal was within reach, Han Li agreed immediately. However, in addition to the spirit liquid, he also wanted Yuan Yao to share a portion of the soul-nourishing wood's root that she obtained. Just like that, their deal was struck, and the very next day, they began to break the formation to get the treasure. With Han Li's help, Yuan Yao successfully obtained the soul-nourishing wood and left the palace of the void heaven as she had wished. Speaking of which, let's return to the previous question. Does everyone know why Yuan Yao was so nervous when Han Li recognized her? In truth, after their first meeting with Han Li, the 2 sisters had experienced several incidents. After leaving Chaotic Star Island, she and Yan Li separated. One day, Yuan Yao was shocked to discover that Yan Li had become the cultivation cauldron of the Green Yang sect's young master. At that moment, her heart was filled with unease and terror because the young master was a man with a dark mind and cruel methods. To save her sister, Yuan Yao began to get close to him, but he made an extremely shameless condition. Yuan Yao had to become his concubine. This condition was a great humiliation for Yuan Yao, but facing the life-and-death situation of her sister, she had no other choice but to temporarily submit, all the while plotting a world-shaking plan in her heart. However, the Green Yang sect's young master plotted against Yuan Yao, setting a trap for his own benefit to make her another one of his cultivation cauldrons. Yuan Yao learned of this news early on, so the 2 sisters planned to strike first to gain the upper hand and assassinate him. But unexpectedly, before he died, the young master launched a counterattack. To save Yuan Yao, Yan Li was gravely injured, her body destroyed, and her soul was forced into a magical artifact. Afterward, Yuan Yao killed the Green Yang sect's young master and obtained the Ti-Hun beast from him. Because of this, the Green Yang sect relentlessly hunted Yuan Yao. This is the reason she was so nervous after being recognized by Han Li. As time passed, Yan Li's spiritual soul grew weaker, and Yuan Yao learned from him about the soul-nourishing wood in the palace of the void heaven, which could nourish the soul. This led to the scene of her charging into the palace alone. After several decades of wandering, Han Li, now at the late core formation stage, luckily escaped from the clutches of Feng Shi and returned to the inner seas. Immediately upon his return, he joined several cultivators in a campaign launched by the Green Yang sect, with the purpose of avenging their young master. Learning the truth, Han Li thought to himself what a coincidence it was. He then pretended to cooperate before suddenly unleashing his sword light, annihilating the entire group. Just as Yuan Yao was preparing to counterattack, Han Li descended from above. Recognizing him, Yuan Yao was overjoyed because after their journey in the palace of the void heaven, she completely trusted him. Knowing that Han Li had solved her troubles, Yuan Yao even gave him half a bottle of the 10,000-year spirit liquid from her storage pouch. When Han Li asked about the whole story, Yuan Yao no longer held back as before and recounted everything. After hearing the sisters' story, Han Li was deeply moved by their noble bond, realizing that in this cruel world of cultivation, having a true friendship is incredibly precious. Next, Yuan Yao revealed that she would perform a soul restoration technique to save her sister. During that time, she wanted Han Li to take on the duty of protecting them. Although he was always cautious, this time Han Li decided to step in and help them overcome their difficulties. With Han Li's involvement, Yuan Yao felt a surge of courage and extraordinary strength, and she began to perform the technique. However, the heavenly phenomenon created during the ritual attracted the attention of Wen Tianren, the #1 core formation cultivator in the chaotic star seas. Left with no choice, Han Li had to engage him in battle. As the fight was nearing its end, the eerie fog of the chaotic star seas suddenly appeared, sealing the magical power of all cultivators present, including Yuan Yao, who was performing the ritual. Having lost her magical power, Yuan Yao was swept into the land of the netherworld by the ghostly fog. Here, the 2 sisters accidentally obtained a powerful ghostly cultivation method called the Yin Yang Samsara art. This was a mysterious and powerful technique that helped cultivators achieve boundless strength. Therefore, the 2 sisters began to cultivate it. At this time, Yan Li had become a demonic cultivator, somewhat similar to the state of Xian Gu. When the 2 cultivated to the spirit transformation stage, a violent gale suddenly rose in the land of the netherworld, transporting them to an unknown place. From later stories, we learned that this place was the land of the netherworld in the spirit realm. If old Devil Han knew about this shortcut to ascend to the spirit realm, he would probably faint from anger. Arriving in the spirit realm, the two sisters encountered the ghost matriarch, one of the four great ghost kings of the spirit realm's earthly abyss. The ghost matriarch captured the two, intending to use them as cultivation materials. Just when Yuan Yao thought her life had come to an end, fate once again intertwined her with Han Li. At this time, Han Li was being forced by the Rock Clan to participate in the earthly abyss trial. Seeing Han Li again, the two sisters felt as if they had met their soulmate. They recounted their suffering and expressed their wish for him to remove the Demon King seal, so they could escape their plight. Han Li understood this was an incredibly difficult task, but he did not flinch. They decided to go to the Nether River land together, the headquarters of the four great Demon Kings, and their only chance of escape. The three of them embarked on a challenging journey. The escape was extremely dangerous, as the four Demon Kings sent a large number of subordinates to hunt them down and bring them back for imprisonment. However, the three fought side by side, using their strength and wisdom to evade the Demon King's pursuit time and again, finally succeeding in escaping the Nether River land and regaining their freedom. On their subsequent journey, the three accidentally stumbled into the cave of the Mahayana cultivator, Qing Yuanzi. Everyone is surely familiar with this character. He is a master Han Li never met, the creator of the Azure Essence sword art. Learning about their identities, Qing Yuanzi accepted the two sisters as his disciples. Thanks to his protection, Yuan Yao finally found a peaceful place in the spirit realm. During her subsequent cultivation, Qing Yuanzi diligently taught Yuan Yao, making her swordsmanship not even the slightest bit inferior to Han Li's. Later, after becoming the #1 Mahayana cultivator in the spirit realm, Han Li established the Azure Essence Palace for the human race and brought Yuan Yao to live on Yuanhi Island. In the finale of the spirit realm arc, Yuan Yao, along with Nangong Wan and Silver Moon, witnessed Han Li's ascension to the immortal realm. When the story shifts to the immortal realm arc, information about Yuan Yao is revealed through Nangong Wan's account. According to her, Yuan Yao had died under the lightning tribulation while ascending to the immortal realm. However, the truth was different. Subsequent events show that Yuan Yao did indeed fail in the final stage of her ascension, but Han Li used the remaining time reversal power of the Palm Sky bottle to return to the moment of her ascension and help her. Thus, with Han Li's assistance, Yuan Yao successfully ascended to the immortal realm. This is perhaps the ending everyone hoped for, and also a sign of the author's favor towards the character of Yuan Yao. The relationship between Han Li and Yuan Yao should more accurately be called that of confidants, tri-KY. It never crossed a line into romance. Despite going through countless ups and downs and hardships together and building a deep emotional foundation, Han Li was always clearly aware of his own responsibilities and duties. Therefore, he always maintained his principles and boundaries, keeping the relationship at the level of a confidant. His feelings for Yuan Yao had more shades of friendship and kinship than romantic love, because no matter how many storms and trials they went through, their relationship always remained stable. This is a testament to the trust and respect they had for each other.